This podcast may contain adult language, adult situations, spoilers, and some brief nudity, so parental guidance is suggested.
We have such sights to show you.
After about 5 minutes of this movie, you're gonna wish you had 10 beers.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Oh, well. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la, yeah.
Welcome back to the Cinema Recall Podcast. Hello everyone, and welcome to this special bonus episode exclusively for Patreon subscribers. And if you're listening to this on the regular feed, thank you very much for checking out this bonus episode with us. Today, I'm bringing back on good friend of the show. He's been a past guest on several episodes. He has his own section called Donnie's Choice. And yes, this is another Donnie's Choice episode. And I love it when this cat comes on here. Of course, I'm talking about Donnie Roberts, formerly of Videorama Pod and Cage's Kiss. He has a new book out right now. It's an audio book. I was on one of the stories called The Bells. The stories are called the Deep Sea Anthologies. Mr. Donnie Roberts, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very glad to keep returning to the show.
It has been a blast. Your book is going well. Any news on when we're going to get the next chapter in the Deep Sea Anthologies?
That is still an evolving thing that just cracks me up because I wrote out the first part. I thought, okay, this is great. But then I'm like, no, I want to go back because I've learned so much from the first part that I really want to expand it, because this story, the second chapter of this, is called The Trial. And it's so sinister, and I love being sinister in that. It's so hilariously great just how creepy fun it is. And I just want to keep doing more. So what's supposed to have been like a 35-minute thing is now turning into a 2-part thing.
Ooh.
And I'm going to need about 7 people for this, and I'm still trying to write out the second part, but then I'm going back to the first part because I love the characters that I made for this so much. I'm just giving them more dialogue, but I'm still hitting myself on a hammer going, you have to restrict the time on this. So hopefully by May we'll have something coming up, but otherwise I've just been really working on the writing and the music lately, especially the music, since I got my keyboard set up, and it's going to be fun.
Oh,
it's
sure.
really going to be fun.
It was such a blast recording the first part, and I look forward to each new chapter. It's a new thing. It's an audio novelization. It's going to be just a hell of a lot of fun to check out. So yeah, looking forward to that, man.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be great.
Tell the listeners where they can find the first chapter, at least.
You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcast, as well as on, of all things, Amazon, which has still surprised me because I remember finding Cage's Kiss there entirely by accident.
Oh, nice.
That was kind of like, that's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I found that Cinema Recall is on Audible, and I found that through Alexa. So I just say the name Cinema Recall, and it's like, pulls up the podcast. Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's wonderful things like that just make you appreciate what you're doing and realizing how many more people you can annoy.
Exactly, and I'm all for that too. But today we are going to be talking about the 1990s. Speak about things that may annoy people. We're talking about 1993's Freaked, directed by Alex Winter and Tom Stern, written by Tom Stern, Alex Winter, and Tim Burns. Tim Burns, Tom Stern. God, that's gotta be confusing.
Right? Yeah, Stern, Tom Stern, Alex Winter.
Just the whole Burns and Stern thing. That's a company duo right there. Burns and Stern.
Exactly. Burns and Stern engines.
But this movie stars Alex Winter, Randy Quaid, William Sadler, Megan Ward, Michael Stoyanov, Bobcat Goldthwait, Mr. T, and Brooke Shields. And quick little plot synopsis. It's about this spoiled actor named Ricky, played by Alex Winter, and he's going to basically be the spokesperson for this toxic waste company. And on the way to, I think it's LA they go to, right? Is it where? No, they go from LA to, what's the place they go to? I don't remember the city they go to, but I know
they just very briefly mention it because it just, if you can pay attention to that main plot in this movie, then I will give you an award personally.
They go to another town.
Is so full of random craziness.
They basically go to another town to promote this toxic waste company, which is being run by William Sadler's character, and then they get there, and both Ricky and his best friend, I read this down here, Ernie, they are there, and they end up meeting this girl named Julie, played by Megan Ward, and Julie's like, hey, here's a freak show, let's go check it out. And they visit the freak show, they meet Randy Quaid's character, who basically kidnaps them and turns them into freaks themselves. I've read that this was originally going to be a what do you call it here? A really dark horror movie starring the Butthole Surfers.
Yes.
Did they do the theme song for this?
It was Henry Rollins.
It was Henry Rollins. Okay.
Yeah.
But
which is another reason why you gotta love this movie. The artwork in the movie and the soundtrack is just entirely like California punk. I mean, every band on there is just, oh man.
This opening theme song made me fall in love with the movie automatically.
Right?
That opening credits, the music. Okay, so it's Henry Rollins singing, but I thought the Butthole Surfers was doing music for it though, because
Butthole Surfers does. I think one or two songs. There's a Sweet Loaf, and there's another song they had on there. It was Butter Queen, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, the main song Freaked was Henry Rollins and Blind Idiot God.
Okay. Yeah, just right there. That makes me just fall in love with the movie. I'll get to other things that I like about this movie. But let's do this, Donnie. When did you first see this movie?
This was during the golden era of cable when you could just turn on a channel most of us would know as Skinamax growing up. And at a certain time at night, this movie was on. And I caught it just after, oh gosh, it was right during the opening credits, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Because it was just this rapid claymation, faces being morphed, melted. It had awesome music going on, and then suddenly it began, and I was just glued to it. Like, I don't know what this is. I just missed that part in the title sequence, but I love this movie. Ever since then, I've been watching it. I've been a fan of it. I bought it on Blu-ray, which I'm glad, because now that Blu-ray is like $300 to buy because it's out of print.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
And they just recently, I believe it was Waxworks Records, put out the first time ever, the soundtrack for this. And I bought that up as quick as I could, and oh gosh, this has made me a fan of Alex Winter's work past when he was in the Bill and Ted films and doing his documentaries and such like that.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I watched it, was just a few days ago. I have heard about this movie. I remember seeing box art for it, and I don't know why, it just completely slipped my grasp, and I just didn't really watch it, mainly because I didn't see any trailers for it.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those obscure things, and I remember friends of mine talking about this movie and saying that, yeah, it's actually a lot better than what you think it's going to be. And I have to agree. It has a very much a tongue-in-cheek, deep tongue-in-cheek vibe to this movie that you will absolutely love it or hate it right away when you see it there. Because A lot of the jokes they say are very obscure jokes, but I absolutely love each one there.
Ricky Coogan, Brat Pack Sleazebag. Elijah C. Scuggs, Freak Show Tycoon, an amateur bioengineer.
I can look at a guy like Kevin Costner and see a giant peach grub.
When fate brought them together, Mr. Scuggs took an average Hollywood slime ball and made something out of him.
Oh, God! This was my good side!
20th Century Fox presents Freaked. It's about friendship.
I thought I told you to shut up!
Loyalty.
I say we kill him!
Life's big questions.
How many feminists does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Oh, show business.
The public does not want to see disgusting, depraved, violent filth.
And I suppose Jake and the Fat Man was just a fluke.
It's about state-of-the-art technology. It's about Mr. T's, the bearded lady.
I am woman. Now like me.
It's about Bobcat Goldthwait as a sock.
It's the end of the world! The apocalypse!
It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry.
And it'll make a cold sore that you thought had healed up start bugging you again.
It's the kind of film Brooke Shields has always wanted to do.
Oh.
Introducing Larry Bud Melman as the President of the United States.
What's the matter? Afraid of a little rock stuff?
In Freaked, coming soon to a theater. Freaked, but ugly, but funny.
Welcome to show business, moron!
I was gonna say, it's like, I knew this movie was great because my dad sat and watched it with us because we were very young when it came out, and he just was like, what the hell is this crap? And I'm like, this is amazing. How can you call this crap? And it's Randy Quaid as Elijah C. Scuggs is so freaking amazing in this. And he had like two moments I absolutely love from this film where they're trying so hard to be quiet and a styrofoam cup falls to the ground. And that's the one sound he hears out of everything else. It's just a tiny little styrofoam cup bumping in the ground. The only other thing was, when they're doing the first Freak Show, when he brings out Ricky Coogan, and everyone's just, you have a brawl going on with bikers and everyone, guns are going off, and he just approaches a mic and very quietly says, "Quiet, please," and everyone just stops and goes right back to their seats.
There's a sequence when each Freak member is describing how they became a freak, and my favorite moment is it cuts to a hammer.
Yes.
And there's a flashback of Randy Quaid buying a wrench and then taking the wrench and turning it to a hammer. And everyone goes, oh man, that is rough. Oh.
Yeah, they're all crying.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
And it's just like things like that. I even love the fan boy that they have in the show.
Oh, yeah. The troll.
The little troll guy.
Yeah. But even then, it's like you also have Mr. Frickin' T as a manly, big, brawling trucker, and he just whispers to him, "I think you look better without a dick." He's like ready to fight him, like, "Hey, you can keep the beard," and then suddenly they're okay with this and they're friends.
Well, that's the crazy thing too about Freaked is that from the start, this could easily have turned into like a very dark horror movie. When I'm watching this, I'm thinking about that movie that Kevin Smith made about
Tusk.
Tusk, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is about a guy who turns a kid into a walrus, and it's a very much a dark movie. But when you watch Freaked, it's a very lighthearted comedy, and everyone in the Freak show seems to be okay with Randy Quaid. Like, yeah, he's an asshole. He turned me into a freak. But hey, it is what it is. Like, when they escape, they don't try to like kill the guy. And I love how they try to escape. They decide to dress up as Milkman. But they can't have everyone dress up as Milkman because that would be too obscure.
Yeah, I freaking love that, and it's. I don't know if you look this up or not. It's not listed in the film's credits, unfortunately. But Ortiz the dog boy was played by freaking Keanu Reeves.
No way.
Yeah, And
Really?
It's something that Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves have had this relationship ever since Bill and Ted, where whenever Alex is doing a film, if he can put him in there, Keanu's always like, hell yeah, I'll do anything with you, because they freaking love each other. But he played Ortiz, and it's one of my sister and I's favorite lines he has when they're disguised as milkmen, and you have 13 of them all standing out there. And he's like, 12 milkmen is theoretically possible. 13 is just silly.
Yeah.
And then Randy Quaid watching it from his window was like, those milkmen are really pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have, Maiden Ward as love interest. And I love it that, okay, so when our three leads become freaks, they basically put Julie and Ernie together. And Ernie's your stereotypical, guy who's into like broads and sets and talk about them dames, and he's the horny friend right there. And our character Julie, she's this feminist. When we first meet her, she's protesting the everything but shoes.
Yes, the EES.
EES, and she's protesting them, and Alice is, basically a spokesperson for them, but he doesn't want her to know that, so he decides to get into her bright spot, or her soft spot, by dressing in all white bandages.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, that's okay, but eventually those bandages are going to come off, and she's going to see who you are, and she's going to know that you're the spokesperson for this company. But I love the fact that he kind of throws his friend under the bus with her and just blames him for attacking him. For taking his crutches. Yeah. But I do love the fact that it was Ernie and Julie that actually, are the ones that are combined together. They're surgically combined. And it's just this great use of using puppetry work and almost like using camera to make them seem like they're in the same scene. Like a lot of like mirror images and just the way that it was all put together was absolutely brilliant, and I loved every part of that.
There's a lot of sight gags in this film that are just really, really fun, and especially like the outhouse that they live in, like pre-Harry Potter.
Yes.
When you have Elijah leading him to an outhouse, like, here's your spacious accommodations, and you open it up, it's like a freaking barn inside this little outhouse.
And then having the cameo by Bob Vila.
Oh my God, yeah! I learned a lot from Bob Vila.
And then he comes out there, just these random. It's a movie that I would like to watch again because there are a lot of jokes that I've missed and need to catch up again on. But I think what really sold me on this movie, Donnie, is all the wonderful makeup effects.
Oh God, yeah. That's really what surprised me, especially for a film that budget. You're not really. It looks like something that's extremely bottom of the barrel, low budget, but it is actually really well produced.
Yeah, like the cowboy, the use of puppetry works. I mean, this is what I love about this movie is that it doesn't use any CGI. These are actual costumes and makeup effects and prosthetics that these people build themselves. And is it believable? No. But the movie sets the tone that it's not supposed to be. Like I said before the start, this is very much a tongue-in-cheek movie. And I think right from the opening start of the movie, when you see Ricky at the board meeting, you're going to know right away if this movie is going to be up your alley or not. And I got to say, if you've seen other episodes of Donnie's Choice, or even the episodes we did for Meet the Feebles, this is definitely of that same range of high quality artwork, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and then we also got like I said before, we got appearances from Brooke Shields in this, and this is the mid '90s too, and I think this is before Suddenly Susan, because I think Suddenly Susan came out in the mid '90s, I believe.
Yeah, I want to say maybe 95, 96 maybe, because this was,
But I love the fact too that they even mention about the return. He was on an airplane seeing Return to the Blue Lagoon, and he makes a statement of that, and she's like, "I heard that movie was terrible." So
yeah.
No. Yeah.
Oh.
But it's so it's so cool. Wait, John Hawkes plays Cowboy.
Freaking Saul Starr from Deadwood.
That is so good people there. I gotta mention too. Do you have a favorite freak in this one? Because
I was gonna ask you the same thing because oh man, I don't know why this just made me laugh my ass off so hard, but Nosy the Nose having to dress up as a gorilla and disco dance. I'm just like, what the hell? It's like his whole gimmick is that his nose is like 3 times the size of his head, and he's dressing as a gorilla to disco dance because why not?
Well, it made sense to me. I like I like a lot of these characters right there, but my favorite one has got to be Sockhead.
I love that. My sister does too. And it's just oh man.
Shout out to Linda. That's awesome. Yeah. And I like the fact too that even when the sock comes off, it's just a hand.
Yes.
But
I was gonna say that was so great when the audience turns on him because like there's a hand under that sock.
Oh. Yeah, it's this. And I really feel bad that I did not get to catch this on cable. I don't know what it was, but maybe I just wasn't up at that time.
Yeah.
Watching that sort of thing there, and I feel really bad about that. But yeah, it's really kind of sad that this movie didn't have much, I guess. It wasn't received well because even though it was distributed by 20th Century Fox at the time, based on like test screenings of the movie, they didn't really do much to promote it. And I know this one is one of those features that came straight to video. I think to the age now of like internet, if this movie was to be released today, it would have a lot bigger following. It still hasn't fallen today. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely become huge throughout the years. Like I said before, they just released the soundtrack on vinyl.
Yeah.
Again, and you said the Blu-ray is worth $300 right now. So shit. Who released the Blu-ray? Do you remember?
I don't remember who it was. It wasn't like Arrow Video or one of them that's picking them up, but I had heard there's supposed to have been another release coming of it.
Okay.
But I don't know when or how. I just know that the album, and I was wrong, the album wasn't put out by Waxwork. It was put out by Mondo T.
Really?
Yeah, Mondo and Death Waltz. It was under Death Waltz Records. But they put it out, and since then, it's like that record, I don't know if it's still actually available. It may have sold out, but there was just such a huge call and demand on that, and they were surprised how many people went crazy knowing that it was finally coming out. So that's kind of garnered more interest in the film being re-released. So here's hoping. I mean, like Jay Bowman said, we kind of live in an age where even the crappiest of crap films that you never wanted to see again are coming out on Blu-ray. So films like this that deserve love may actually find their love.
That's great to hear. Like, Mondo has been doing some great work about releasing soundtracks to movies. I think they're the same company that released a vinyl soundtrack of, like, Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yes, and they also recently, even though it's sold out now, unfortunately, on vinyl, they put out the soundtrack for the new Batman movie. Which also is pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, that is great. I'm surprised that that actually sold out fast because they have to expect a lot of people to watch that. I can't imagine a lot of people, buying the Hard Ticket to Hawaii or the soundtrack. I originally bought from Mondo the Josie and the Pussycat soundtrack, which was great. But Mondo does a great job of packaging their vinyl with like really great features in there, and they have some really great artwork and all that. Yes, this is shout out to Mondo Records. I'm going to reach out after you to get some sponsor spots because I would love to feature every one of your soundtracks on the show. So I'm going to try to find a way to email Mondo to hopefully get some actual cool vinyl that we can display on our live shows there. Do you have like a moment of this movie that you just like absolutely enjoy?
honestly, like I said, the whole thing with the styrofoam cup, and then afterward, when they're doing the dramatic slow turn of the doorknob, and then it shows the other side, and Elijah's cussing because he has butter on his fingers from the popcorn he was eating, so that's why the knob is turning so slow. Like I would say between that and when the fanboy troll is underneath the table and then eventually is standing out in the open and nobody still notices him as he's trying to just quietly escape the room, and they're revealing their whole evil plans for everything going on.
Yeah. I gotta say, when it comes to, that troll character, I like the very end when it shows his beta mutated version versus Ricky's beta mutated versions fighting each other. And I'm thinking, my gosh, those effects are just phenomenal work, and I cannot say any more bad things about that. That was just epic.
I mean, it reminded me, and I'm sure you see this as well, the original Twilight Zone, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of this, I don't know, there's a particular term for it, but for me it's like living cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like that's really what their characters look like compared to the other freaks, which are kind of like, yeah, you can kind of see that. It's kind of realistic, not so bad. But then you have Ricky's and the troll, and they're both just right out of a comic book. I mean, it's just so funny.
It's weird watching a movie like this. And then earlier I watched the movie Nightmare Alley. And Nightmare Alley is set also at a freak show. But Nightmare Alley... and I'm talking about both the original 47 and the recent Guillermo del Toro movie. They actually use, a realistic physical deformities. And with Freet, it's just like off the wall, like you said, like a living cartoon. And it's not set to be any realistic whatsoever. The way the actors deliver their dialogue is not done any realistic way. It's done in a cartoon manner. The way that they react to, the way that the characters react to each other, and the way that they react to different scenes, they are acting very much like a cartoon. So if people can attack this movie and saying it's too cartoony or too cheesy, that's the point of it. That's the whole theme of it.
Yeah, there's no way you can take that seriously, especially when you have the evil board members talking about their plans, and then the guy's like, I only have one thing left to say. It's like, those who dare oppose us will stand knee-deep in the blood of their children. It's like, what the hell? Where did this come from?
Yeah, so I think if you go into this movie right there and just from the start, you know right away what themes this is going to be, and I appreciate the direction of this because... a lot of movies, they kind of go like back and forth between being serious and being comedic. And this movie is just all in saying, no, we're going to make this crazy comedic movie. And they stick to the tone of that. And I absolutely loved it. I had a blast. I say that all the actors do a good job. The special effects are amazing. I appreciate the editing of this movie because the one thing I have to say too with any type of comedy, if I do not have to check my watch when watching a movie, or if I don't need to go onto my phone, then this movie sells me. There's sometimes I'm thinking, this is very ridiculous. All right, but sticking in that tone, and I love it. And I'm a fan. You turned me on to a very fun movie. I don't know. I know you said Alex Winter has directed just some documentaries, and has he done another feature at all?
Honestly, yeah. Recently, something he did, I was a part of on his Kickstarter, was he did a whole documentary about Frank Zappa and his private archives. And trying to archive everything or save what they could from that. And it is such, like, if you are a Zappa fan, that is like the ultimate freaking beautiful, beautiful documentary. And I think it's actually free on Hulu, I want to say.
It
right
is,
now.
yes. I totally forgot about that. Thank you so much for recommending that movie, because I remember seeing clips of that. I'm thinking, and I know nothing about really Frank Zappa, except for maybe a few songs that he's done.
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious to check out this movie now. That's epic.
But yeah, he's actually, aside that and the whole, of course, finishing up Bill and Ted with a third film, which honestly it was as good as I had expected. Mm-hmm. It could have been something more possibly, but it still was what it needed to be.
Yeah,
I think is the best way to put that.
That's fair. I had fun with the Bill and Ted 3, but it won't be as good as the other two. That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
It was just great seeing those two actors get back working with each other again.
And even that's kind of funny too. In this movie, the guy who played Death, William Sadler, is in this too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good point. So yeah, you had a little reunion of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in this movie, even though they're not all in the same scenes. But yeah, well, we're gonna get into the end of our conversation talking about Freet. I am going to go ahead and out of 5 stars, it comes really close. I'm giving it 4.5 stars.
That is fair, and I would actually concur with that.
Yeah, I think it's maybe on the second watch, it'll turn to 5 stars. But after my first watch, I enjoyed the movie. Let's put it this way. I enjoyed it enough where if it does come out to Blu-ray at a price that I can afford, I will definitely watch it again. I'm hoping it's got commentary tracks. I'm hoping that both Keanu Reeves and Alice Winter do commentary track for this movie.
That would be amazing. I mean, honestly, I would love to pay for that.
Yeah, see?
But, I mean, even, there's so much you may have missed and things that you may have just gotten. Like I said, a lot of subtle jokes in this that maybe go over some people's heads. But it's because, there was a sign for, I remember Frog Boy.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, you see this guy with a frog tongue, but he's a toad.
Yes.
And you find out the Frog Boy is actually just a French diver in a diving suit. That's the only thing about him.
This guy in the wetsuit right there. Oh. Yeah, so are you going to give the same story? Are you going to go up or lower, or what are you going to give it?
Oh, no, I'm concurring. It's
okay.
A 4 out of 5 is definitely where I'd put this. It's not because the film isn't a mind-blowing 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's just, again, kind of tying in with the whole Frank Zappa thing. It's one of those things, like you said, you either love it, you hate it, but you're going to find it interesting either way.
You'd have a fun time with this flick. No worries whatsoever there.
Yeah.
So that's Freet. I know you can watch it on the YouTubes.
Yes.
Even though it's I think it's a transfer from VHS mine was definitely formatted to fit my screen.
Yeah, there's actually 2 I found. There's a VHS formatted, which I also watched, and then I rewatched again because I'm like, gosh, I feel like maybe this was edited because it has the DVD. There's an extended scene in the middle that I know of.
Okay.
And I found just by chance an HD version of the film also on YouTube. So
you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was recently uploaded, I think a year or 2 ago. So there is definitely love for this film out there on the internet.
Okay, cool. Yes, so definitely check that out. As for Cinema Recall going forward, we're going to start doing these weekly or bi-weekly episodes on a different sort of cult feature or underground cinema, with our good buddy Donnie Roberts being our other co-host for the show. So I welcome him back on. So you're going to hear a lot more of Donnie Roberts on this podcast. And
no,
it's gonna be great. They're gonna love it. But yeah, that's it. Donnie, before we go, anything you want to plug for our audience members?
Just again, we've got the Deep Sea Anthology, and you can find me on Twitter under Unreal Goals, and that's also where you can find me on YouTube. I am still in the process of figuring out and fine-tuning another project I have going on that is going to include myself, possibly my fiance, possibly my sister, possibly her husband. It'll just be kind of guest off and on, but it's perfectly steeped films, and we're going to talk about different films, different themes, as well as, because it's been talked about a couple times, even though one of us, I will not mention my fiance's name or that it is her, but one of us may not entirely support the idea that I'm talking about adult films from the golden era. But we will see how that goes about into that as well.
All right. Well, if you ever need, a guest for a show like that, I'll be happy to try to do some research.
At the very top, sir.
Okay. All right. Good. Because I'm all about research, and that's totally fine. But yes. Anyways, folks, that's it right now for our show. Thank you very much for listening, and we will all see you soon.
Yes.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.